Will, my man,
What's going
it's
on?
about, it's about time that we had you on, man.
Yeah,
We have been hearing and reading and seeing all kinds of stuff about you. It's all been good stuff, but before we get into that, I don't even know if I'm qualified to even talk to you because I was just sent a picture through text. It's you in the middle of Eli Manning on one side and Peyton Manning on the other. Like, how do you find yourself in that situation?
man. I start to think that question sometimes too. Um, how blessed am I? I'm sitting by two of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Uh, but it's just a blessing, to be able to go out there with those guys for 3 or 4 days and spend time with them. Uh, it's honestly just truly a blessing. Not many quarterbacks can say that they've met those guys and had hands work done, on something on their game from those guys. So it was incredible just to be out there for that weekend. And like I said, it's just a blessing.
Yeah, I'm sure as a kid, like you have these big dreams and these big ideas, but as you get older, you don't know what's going to become a reality. You're going to put the hard work in, but it seems like everything that we see and read has been just a really a dedication to your hard work and how you were brought up. And I want to get into that a little bit. So we don't know a whole lot about you. Talk to us, man. Where are you from? Big city, small city? Like,
Yeah, man. So I'm from Brandon, Mississippi. If people ask me where I'm from, I say I'm from Brandon, Mississippi. Um, I was born in let me fix this. I was born in UT Martin. Uh, Dad coached football at UT Martin for a little while, so I was born there. Um, Jumped around because my dad's a high school coach, so we went to Meridian for a little while when he coached Meridian High. He got out of coaching for a little while. So we were living in Brandon when he was out of coaching. He was selling pharmaceuticals in Brandon. Um, and then he decided he wanted to get back in coaching, and he went to Winston Academy. Um, so I was living in tiny Louisville, Mississippi, right up the road from Starkville, um, for 2 years, and then for two years after that, I came to Brandon. So I was in Louisville for first and second grade. Third grade, I came to Brandon. Fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, I moved back to Louisville with my mom, and then we moved back to Brandon, um, seventh through on. So I claim Brandon. I kind of been back and forth for a while, but I claim Brandon just because it's where I went to middle school and graduated high school. So
yeah, being the son of a football coach, especially in the programs that you're mentioning, like what are the difficulties? Because I picture you as like a nomad. The way you would describe it, you're moving from one place to another. You don't know how long the stint's going to be.
yeah,
Talk to us about like what were some of the challenges growing up. Knowing that I may only be in this particular area for a year or two.
no, it's extremely challenging, and I kind of feel bad for my mom. I kind of feel bad for my sister too. My sister's 3 years older than me, and they've made two or three more moves than I have. So um, it's challenging, no doubt, for the family aspect of things. But I was blessed to have two great siblings, a great mom, a great father. So, having them with me wherever I went was just a blessing. But like you said, uh, you never know. That's just coaching in general. You never know when your number's going to get called, and if you don't win, they're going to find somebody that can. So,
Absolutely. You talk about your dad. It seemed like he was constantly on a football field, so I can only imagine that you were probably not too far behind.
oh yeah, no, I was. I can remember being at the practice field. When they still had 2 days, they would still let the guys in high school do 2 days. I was up there at 4 a.m. with the guys. I'd wake up. We'd stop at the gas station on the way to get something to eat, wake us up, and we'd be ready to roll for the day.
So, to me, it sounds like dad was a driving influence in your football career.
Oh yeah, I mean he was not much of a football player growing up, but I mean I think his love for the sport and the way he studies the game is just incredible. So I mean just to see that growing up um, from 5 years old to now, it's really inspiring for me. And, you know, he kind of showed me the way.
So, were there any other sports? I mean, I would imagine it would be hard to pull you away from the football field. You know, knowing Dad's there. You know, I've coached, and I know most
Yeah,
of us have coached at some level, to some capacity, and it's always a huge time constraint as far as the amount of time that you have and the amount of time you have to spend. So, was football the only sport that you played, or were you able to venture out and play other sports as well?
man, I tell you, I loved everything growing up. You know, I mean, I can remember. I mean, when I was in second and third grade, I mean, that was kind of my soccer phase. You know, I love soccer. That's what we did. We did travel soccer, um, and then probably, I guess, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, probably until I got into middle school. I mean, I really love baseball. You know, travel baseball was a huge thing. I mean, if you have a kid and he's loves sports, he probably loves playing baseball, and travel baseball is a huge thing around here. So, I mean, I really love everything, you know, and then, I mean, I love football, but, you know, I just didn't, it wasn't that competitive, you know, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade is just kind of, I mean, you're playing football, but you're playing the rec league. It's just kind of like, and then once seventh grade got here and we were trying to play for the school, play for Brandon, do all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, that's when it kind of connected, um, getting to Brandon. You know, I'd obviously seen how my dad had done things, but once I got into middle school, it really kind of connected. Uh, I mean, then it was just like, all right, this is what I'm going to do for a while. So I let baseball go. I played baseball at seventh grade in Brandon. I did well. I played shortstop. I thought I did pretty well, but I don't know. In the back of my head, it was just like, uh, you know, I can't do both, you know, because baseball is a spring sport. And while I'm playing baseball, people are just going to be getting better than me in football. They're going to be getting bigger, faster, and stronger than me. So that was just kind of the personal decision I made. It was not something that my dad wanted me to do, not something my mom wanted me to do. I can remember just walking down to the baseball field and telling the coach, it was like, all right, I'm sorry, but I don't really want to play anymore. I want to get better. I want to get bigger, faster, and stronger because I don't want people out working me, you know.
So, take the where you're at currently with football out of the equation. Is that a decision that you feel like you have some regrets for, or you're totally at peace with not ever continuing baseball again, knowing that you probably could have played it at a high level?
I mean, obviously, I have to say I'm at peace. You know, I can't. I don't think. I mean, I can honestly, guys, say that I've emptied the tank. You know, I mean, I've not. I mean, I don't let a day go by without getting better. So, I mean, honest to God, I don't. I'm not worried about that. I do. I do have some thoughts sometimes. Like, man, I love the game of baseball. You know, I love playing baseball. I don't like there's some kind of, you know, persona that the baseball players get and all that stuff. I'm not a fan of that. But I mean, when I think of baseball, I think of like watching like Derek Jeter grow up and all that stuff. You know, that's who I watch baseball. You know, guys like him. That's why I wear number two and stuff like that. Because Jeter was my guy growing up. So
Get it? Well, so I think back on everything that you said. I look at where you're at now. I picture you on the football field constantly. Moving back and forth with your dad, all the sports growing up. Like, I don't see, like, were you the best player on the field every time you played something? Like, I feel
absolutely
like
not.
you were.
Absolutely not. I mean, I can think about it's crazy, dude. Like Pee Wee football, Winston Academy, like fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. Like there was this guy that was just better than me. I mean, he might have not been a better quarterback than me. Yeah, he couldn't throw the ball like I could, but he was a better football player than I was. I mean, he was faster than me. He was stronger than me. He made better tackles than me. I mean, all that stuff. He was a better football player than I was. And then, like, for example, like when I was at Brandon, like in middle school, I mean, I was the best. I was probably the best player on the team in middle school. But like, I can remember going to like a camp at Ole Miss when I was in 8th or 9th grade, and they're like offering this guy, and I'm like, dude, what? Like, I mean, like, whoa! I'm like, I could be in trouble, dude. Like, I mean that guy plays quarterback in the SEC. I'm not gonna say his name, but I mean, I feel like I've outworked him now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just stuff like that.
Well, it's good to have, those experiences because it kind of drives you to move forward. And, when you're seeing that, you're still a kid. Like, like,
Oh yeah, no,
uh,
I mean it can be discouraging to you, dude. I mean, I remember leaving there and being like this guy's like 6'4", 220 pounds in the 9th grade. I'm like 6 foot, 150. Like give me a break, dude.
so, so we got to know, man. Like, you said he plays in the SEC. Is it in the West?
I can't. I mean, he's not in the West. I'm not. I can't say his name, but I feel like I've. I mean, that's the thing with me, man. Like, I'm not. I'm not the biggest. Like, if you saw me walking around the streets in Starkville, you're not gonna be like, "No, that guy's an SEC football player." Like that guy plays SEC football. I mean, dude, I'm just at the end of the day, I'm just average Joe that's gonna give it all he got on the field, and I mean, that's all I can bring to the table.
Hey,
And
we
I
can
think in high
appreciate that,
school,
man.
yeah, no, I think in high school, I kind of grasped that. I realized that I wasn't going to be a top 10 quarterback in the country. I realized that I wasn't going to be a 5-star or recruited from every school in the country. So I mean, I remember telling myself that I was going to have to bring something different to the party. I can't be this guy that's just doing whatever and expect to win all these games. So
Yeah. So, Will, you talked about when you're in high school. For those that don't know, where you mentioned that you grew up in Brandon, but just talk about the high school that you went to, what that was like.
Oh yeah, no, Brandon. I mean, I put Brandon's football up against anybody's. We play 6A football. It's the SEC West of high school football. So, I mean, every year I can say that I've played. I mean, you name a powerhouse in Mississippi, I probably played them and beat them. So,
There you
uh,
go.
yeah. I mean, a couple schools got me more than I really wanted them to.
Let me ask you a
But
question, man. When you go and you Google Brandon High School, and I look on notable alumni, I don't see your name yet, bro. We got to get your name on there for one.
dude, I know. I mean, that speaks for how good Brandon is. I mean,
I see
Demario
some
Day,
names: Demario
Gardner,
Davis, Gardner
Gardner
Minshew. I
Minshew.
mean,
I
that's
mean, dude, I
now.
mean, like all the talent that Brandon's Jarius Norwood. I mean, he's from Brandon.
I
Um,
bet I bet if you grew a mustache, that's what would
yeah,
cement
I'm
you.
kind of working on it, bro. I mean,
I see it coming in, a little shade there. Let me ask you a question, since obviously Gardner Minshew, there's actually an article written about, that a protege of his, or however you want to say it. You guys had a
yeah.
relationship, but did this man, there was like the quote of the year. He said, "I haven't taken a shit in 2 weeks because number two is not an option." Is that a real quote?
Oh no, he's dead serious. He is dead serious. So I talked to him a week ago, and he was like, he was just pumped up for camp, dude. He was like, "Yeah, we're about to get after it, man. I'm excited." I mean,
He's like, if this sunshine looking some coming in here taking my job.
yeah,
Obviously, we all
dude.
know how talented Trevor Lawrence is, but people are sleeping on Gardner, man, because that dude put up some. He's cold.
No, dude. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is the first overall draft pick for a reason, but I mean, it's kind of like the thing that goes back to me. Like, I mean, Gardner wasn't a first round draft pick, but he's going to win more games than I'll put him up with anybody, because he's a competitor and he works hard.
Well, Randy, y'all talking quarterbacks, but you had me at Demario Davis, bro.
I know. I was about to say that. So Jim's a big fan. You mentioned Derek Jeter. That's my favorite player of all time in any sport. So I mean, you got me there. Now, went to the same high school as Demario. You're already making fan favorites on the show here.
Oh yeah.
But so getting back to the high school, I know obviously 6A, so it's pretty big. But talk about not only athletically but academically. What was it like going to Brandon?
I mean, the academics is like top to nine. I mean, I think my brother's gonna be a junior this year, and so like when you're a junior at Brandon, you're eligible to take all these college classes. So the way it works is you can take all these college classes, um, and you can end up having like, I don't know how many. I think my sister had like over 12 or almost 16 hours of college credits when she went into when she went into college. So, I mean, the way that they just do things, and they have every kid in line. They're not going to let a kid not graduate. I mean, you have to try to not graduate from Brandon, just because you have so much help and so much support. So,
So look,
I mean, it's a great place. Oh, no, it's awesome, man. I love this place. And, they're going to put me in the ground here one day. So,
yeah, so no doubt. But look, speaking of your sister, small world. I know some people that know her. And what's it like? You go to Mississippi State, but she's an Ole Miss grad, man. Is there there's some trash talking going on here?
Dude, I mean, there's no trash talking. She supports me 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So she's in grad school here now.
Okay.
So she's doing that. This is going to be her second year of grad school at Mississippi State. And I mean, dude, if I'm not sure if y'all know, but like the story is that I loved Ole Miss. I wanted to go to Ole Miss my whole life, and they never offered me. So,
oh man,
yeah,
and they're lost, right? Now you gotta kick that ass every year.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
So I'm sorry. Back to high school. We got a little bit off there, but back to high school. So obviously, doing a little bit of research, everybody knows that your dad's calling plays over there, runs an offense a little bit similar to what Mike the Air Raid. So just kind of talk us through what the emotions were like coming in as a freshman. I mean, did you start right away? I mean, did it take a while?
No, so there was another quarterback that was starting my freshman year, and so I played ninth grade football my freshman year and just kind of play with my team and all that stuff. And then I got to move up after my freshman year, and I didn't play at all. I just kind of watched and just kind of learned, but I knew what was going on. So my sophomore year was my first year starting. So I started my sophomore year, my junior year, my senior year. I mean, it was awesome, man. Best years of my life, no doubt. I mean, I tell people all the time that if I go back to my senior year of high school and just play those last 8 or 9 games, I would do that in a heartbeat, just because of the relationships that you had. I mean, my dad was calling plays. We were getting hot, it was just a great time, man.
Yeah. So you said your senior year was your favorite year, but it's kind of walking through. You mentioned that you played against the biggest and the best in the state and surrounding areas. So kind of walk us through that. What was your the first moment that you're the starting quarterbacks? Maybe it's sophomore year. Who was the first big game you played against, and what were those emotions like?
I mean, my first start was against Madison Central, and I mean, they always have some big athletic guys, and they're so coached up well. Coach Hart, I think is his name. I mean, he does such a great job with those guys. They're coached up to the T every year. So we opened up with Madison, and then the next week we played South Panola at home, and they just have big, fast guys that just eat guys like me. But yeah, no, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. You're playing against. I mean, you name guys that I've played against, like John Ross Plumley, Jonathan Mingo, Jack Harris, Jaden Crumity, I've played against all those guys. McKinley Jackson, who starts at Texas A&M. I mean, I've played against all those guys, So I roll up, I come in against Texas A&M, I see him standing across from me, and I'm like, all right. I mean, I've seen you
I've seen this before.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you the past 3 years. Like, what's up, dude? I'm not worried about you right now.
No doubt. So when was there ever like a realization moment? Was it sophomore, junior, senior year that you thought, man, I belong here and I'm going to play at the next level?
Oh man, yeah, probably. You could see some flash. I mean, I could see that I was doing some things my sophomore year, but I mean, I was still young. I was still getting those first couple games under my belt. But then, summer going into my junior year, and then going through my junior year, it was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. We were legit. We won 13 games that year. Probably should have won. Probably should have played for the state championship. Maybe probably should have won it. But I mean, dude, just playing against those guys, throwing for yards like that, winning a bunch of games, it was just like, all right, like I can do this, you know.
So when did colleges start reaching out to you?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was telling you, like guys were getting offers in my grade at like 8th and 9th grade, and I'm just like, all right, you know.
Hey
But I mean,
guys.
yeah, I didn't start telling me like because September 1st is your junior year. September 1st is the date that like colleges can reach out to you, and like I remember they were like, cut your phone off because you're gonna have like 100 messages when you wake up. And I woke up and I had like one message. I think I was like, what?
Oh,
I was like, does anybody know like my number or anything? So I was just like, I mean, whatever. And I think times like that, you know, you can get kind of wrapped up in the recruiting process too much. And, you know, I see it happening so much today. But I mean, if you win games and you're the best team in the state and you're one of the best players with the best team on the state, I mean, that'll handle itself, you know. So I kind of didn't worry about that. As the season went on, people started reaching out to me more. And at the end of the year, I mean, we were rolling pretty good, and I knew that after this year that some teams were going to start offering me. And I think like probably 2 or 3 weeks after the season was my first offer. So
who was that first offer?
Washington State from Leach.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So who was obviously you mentioned them, but who were your top three? I mean, kind of mentioned Ole Miss earlier. I mean, I'm assuming they're in there,
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't really an option, you know.
right?
Um, which I did commit, which the recruiting process for a quarterback is so different, man, because every school usually takes one a class. So like if I'm getting recruited by Washington State, I'm getting recruited by Mississippi State, you know, and I commit, you know, that school's done recruiting quarterbacks for that class. So I kind of want to stay close. You know, I really wanted to play in the SEC. I mean, and I can remember hearing from like the Georgia calling me and like, hey, we're coming to watch you throw this week. Like, be ready. And I'm like, all right. But then like I went on a recruiting trip with Jonathan Mingo to Mississippi State. And I remember I was sitting in the office with Coach Moorhead and they were like, we really want you. We really want you to be our guy. But if somebody commits, we can't do anything about that. We have to take their commitment. And they were like, there's this kid coming in from Texas next week, and we've heard that he's going to commit if he gets on campus. So I was like, me being me, I only had 2 Power 5 offers. One was Mississippi State, one was Washington State. And I was just like, man, this is 2 hours from my house. I want to play in the SEC. I like the coaches. They're great people. I mean, you know, let's do it. So that's how my commitment worked. And then, I mean, once I committed, the only school that I would hear from was Washington State because they were trying to get me to flip to them because of how we played in high school and what we did. But yeah, my recruitment kind of shut down after that.
So
And you
did
know,
the
I
Texas
really
quarterback, did he not even come on the campus visit after that? You commit. I mean, what's he got to come to campus for, right?
no, yeah, I mean, they're done. Like
Yeah.
that's how it works, you know. Once, I mean, probably 90% of schools, they're taking a quarterback a class, you know, scholarship quarterback, you know what I'm saying? They'll have guys that want to walk on and they'll let walk on, but they'll take one quarterback a class and that's their guy, you know.
I got one more question before I turn you over to Jim. So what I'm hearing here is that Mississippi State hired Mike Leach because they had you as their quarterback. He couldn't flip you, so you flipped him.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. If you ever see him, you need to ask him about that.
I'm gonna ask him about 2 things: Pirates and Will Rogers.
There you go, man. Appreciate it.
That's absolutely wild that you ended up with the same coach that was recruiting you. It was almost like it was completely meant to be.
Yeah, no, God thing for sure, man.
So when you get to Mississippi State, you get on campus. Obviously, you know, you talked about Ole Miss, but you know, Starkville is an amazing place, it's an amazing campus. What were the emotions like, man, when you stepped on campus and realized that, you know, you were a student there?
Man, it's awesome. You know, I told you growing up, I loved Ole Miss, but I mean, Oxford and Starkville are 2 totally different places. And I mean, you can tell the difference between them. I kind of get like the home vibe from Starkville. Uh, Oxford's kind of a little more upscale, just kind of whatever. I mean, I just love being in Starkville, love being around the people there. And, it's a great place. I love it.
Yeah, and you started school at a unique time, man. It was during, COVID and everything. So, like, did you even get to attend a class in person your freshman year, or was it all online?
Yeah, so I did. So, I came in early. I came in December. So I was there the whole semester before COVID. So it was great just being there, going to classes, meeting new friends, meeting new people, new teammates, all that stuff. Um, but then COVID happened and just kind of threw a big curveball at us. But hey, everything happens for a reason, um, and it's just a little longer summer, you could say.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Well, at least you got to, experience that right off the jump, because some people didn't get to experience even being in a classroom. And, from myself and these guys, we couldn't imagine going to college and then we can't even, go out and meet people like you were saying off the jump. And, you're being stuck in your dorm room all the time and whatnot.
Yeah, it's so weird, man.
So, first day of practice, you're putting on the pads, you're officially on the Mississippi State football team. What's that like?
Dude, it's awesome. Dream come true. Playing football in the SEC. That's all you can ask for. And that's all I ever wanted, man. Just a chance, just an opportunity. Because I knew that I knew in high school, man, if I would just gotten that offer and gotten that chance, I mean, I was going to outwork everybody in the quarterback room. I was going to outwork everybody on the team, and that's all I needed was just that chance, just to have one opportunity to play. So, coming out for that first practice, it was just like, all right, it's time, like, let's do this thing. This is what we worked for 5-6 years, every single day, so all right, let's do this dang thing.
Starting to see more and more why you're friends with Cameron James. Y'all are like the same person. Like,
Yeah.
you got the same mindset and work ethic. Like, I get it now. It all makes
Yeah.
sense. All right, so you see the stuff in the background behind me. You see I'm an LSU fan, so I got to ask this question. Now, you weren't starting yet, but nevertheless, you're part of the team. You go down to Death Valley, defending national champions. Obviously the stadium's not at full capacity or anything, but nonetheless, you are in Death Valley, and they are the defending national champions. What is it like for stepping in the first, game, SEC game at that, and being in that place? What was the atmosphere like to you, even with the fans not there?
Dude, you probably don't know this, but dude, I can't answer that. I don't know. I was not there. So the story is that I get COVID. So I'm the backup. I test on Wednesday. No, I test on Thursday. So we have 3 tests a week. Last week, I tested on Monday, negative, Wednesday, negative, Thursday, positive. Get called Friday morning before getting on the plane. They're like, hey, you just tested positive. You can't go. So I miss LSU and Arkansas. So I missed the first 2 weeks of the 2020 season. And then practice next week and end up going in against Kentucky. I mean, so I've played every single game in college. It's kind of a crazy stat is that I haven't not played a game since my freshman year in high school. So
that's absolutely crazy because
hey, we all need to knock on some wood, no injuries. But yeah, man, it's a blessing.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because our last guest, we ran into that too. Memphis linebacker, he missed the first game due to COVID, and Randy had made the joke to him. He's like, "You're the one that gave it to everybody, aren't you?" Because they ended up having an outbreak. So, Will, are you the one that's passing around to everybody? You that guy?
Man, I tried to stay away from everybody as much as possible. It was crazy, man. But I mean, I'm honestly glad it happened when it did. I did not want it to happen mid-season while I was actually the starter. So
right. So you said
had a good time.
So you said that first start was at Kentucky, right? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't start. So I came in the second half. The next week I came in the second half against A&M, and then I came in the second quarter against Bama, and then I started against Vanderbilt, Georgia, Ole Miss, Auburn, Missouri, and Tulsa. So I started the last 6 games of the year.
I got you. So, all right. Well, what is it like? All right. I was going to ask you about starting first, but let's go there. I mean, you're jumping into the middle of these games against big time opponents. I mean, you're rattling off Bama, like what's it like just, jumping in the middle of those games against big time opponents like that?
That honestly, man, that was tough, just being on the sideline for an hour and a half or however long it was, and then just hop it in and be like, hey, here's Bama, go get them. It's just kind of like, all right, appreciate it. But it's awesome, man. Playing in the SEC. I tell you, man, the coolest experience to me was the Georgia game this year. Just because of the scenario and stuff like that. We had like 40-something scholarship players, 52 total players or something going down to play them because of COVID. So the funny story is that we're actually sitting in the parking lot on the buses for like 2 hours before, like Leach is on the phone with the commissioner, all that stuff, trying to figure out if we can even go. So after 2 hours, we finally loaded up, went and got on the plane, flew to Atlanta, drove to Athens, woke up. We have like a 6 o'clock game the next day. We're staying like somewhere between Atlanta and Athens. I mean, we get off the bus. It's like the coolest atmosphere in the world, coolest stadium. And I mean, we probably should have won the game. They scored in the last couple minutes of the game and beat us by a touchdown. So, I mean, that just shows like what we're like as a program, and that's one thing that I've kind of connected with is that Mississippi State is the same as me. We don't get respected. We're kind of like the last dog to the bowl, so to speak. And we have to scratch and claw for everything we've ever gotten. That's just like me. I'm not the most talented person in the world, and I never will be, but I'm gonna fight your ass off, and I'm gonna get everything I can get out of myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounded perfect. I mean, you talked about it. It felt like, God just put this plan together, and now you're paired with the coach that was recruiting you from another college, and then you're at a program that is built like you. We got a clip. I got Daniel's going to play, man. Just a clip of you during the season that we wanted to throw out there for the listeners here. Go ahead and get that, Daniel.
Rhythm to this offense when Rodgers began to play more, and that's what Mike Leach saw. There's a sense of timing about this young man.
So, I mean, that just speaks right there. You're hearing that clip of the commentator, and Leach saw that in you. And then you went out there, as you said, you were gradually getting more and more playing time. And then, I mean, you were just putting it together. Like, where would you say at what point in the season do you feel like you really just had it all together?
I mean, it was building up. I felt like I got better every week. I played pretty well against Texas A&M, but I only played from the middle of the third quarter on. And then, I mean, I go in against Bama, we're down 24-0, and we had some plays that, I mean, there's plays that I want back for sure. I threw a couple picks, but you could see that like it was coming together. We would have a good play and then 2 bad plays. A good play, the good plays were in there. So that's one thing about us. We got better each week. But to answer your question, I would say the Georgia game. We went down there, and the thing is that, I mean, like I said, all odds were against us, but it had been building up in practice. We were practicing really, really well. Offense was hitting, and I mean, I felt great. I mean, I told Leach before the game, I was like, we were warming up or whatever, and I walked up to him and I was like, hey, if we win the coin toss, I want the ball. I don't want those guys to have the ball for us. I want the ball. And so, first time we went down there and we scored. So,
man, it's really interesting listening to you talk because you're very humble, but you're such a competitor too. So like your comments are not arrogant. It's just you want to compete and you want to be in there and you want to do things. But man, like I said, I know you're humble, so you're not going to talk too much about yourself. But I want to read some things off. You were the 7th true freshman to start for Mississippi State. You set the school record with 45 pass completions against Ole Miss, which I mean, I got to know how did that feel, because that was the school that you thought you might end up at one day.
Yeah, no, that felt great. Getting those guys, but I mean, I wish we could have won. That's one thing. I wish we could have won that game. So it wasn't enough, man.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, by all accounts, you did your part, and then, and it's a team game, and man, I'm not watching it right now to know where you may or may not been able to improve, but obviously, man, stats usually can speak for themselves, and to continue on, you're the only quarterback in Mississippi State history with 3 straight 30+ completion games. Man, you had 177 passes without an INT, and man, that is the stats because when you don't turn the ball over. I mean, that's a great way to stay leading the team at quarterback right there. You don't want somebody who's going to turn the ball over. You number 3 in the NCAA, number 1 in the SEC for completions per game, and you led all freshman quarterbacks in dropbacks, completions. Completion percentage, passing yards. So I mean, dude, I know the team did not perform as well, and like I said, I know you're a humble cat, but did you ever expect that you would have that much success in your freshman year, especially a year that was shortened, and like you said, you missed the first couple games because of COVID and all that?
No doubt, 100%, 100%. That's why I worked all summer. As soon as I got there, I started working with receivers. But yeah, I expected that, and I probably expected more in some of those games. We struggled a little bit, but we kind of started to figure it out the last couple of weeks of the year. So yeah, I definitely expected that, honestly.
Obviously we're talking about the competitive spirit, but listening to when Daniel was talking to you about you and your dad, I feel like you've probably set the bar high for yourself your whole life. Would that be correct?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we got to a point my senior year in high school where I would tell the O-line and the receivers, I was like we're on the sideline, I'm like, all right, let's score every time we get this thing. And there were times where we would score every drive but 2, every drive but 1. I mean, we were rolling there for 4 or 5 weeks, and it was fun, man.
I bet, man. Me and Daniel, unfortunately, we played on a team that didn't score or win much. So you were like that team that was scoring every drive on us, unfortunately. But this is about you, not about how bad our team was. But all right. So you talked about your best game personally. What do you feel like is from a team, like complete game? What was the best game you felt like your team played?
This year, probably Missouri, just because we played so well. I mean, the only knock I have on that is that I turned it over twice. I threw a pick in the end zone, and then I had a strip sack. But we played a really complete game. I think we had like 200 rushing yards, over 250 passing yards, and our defense had like 3 picks. So I mean, if we do that every game this year, we'll probably win the national championship.
Hey, man, I would say I'm rooting for you, but, you see the LSU stuff behind. So, I wish you to do well, Will, but I'm gonna need LSU to take the West and get that national title. But both of y'all got to worry about Bama, unfortunately, as you know, every single year.
No doubt. No doubt.
Look, while we're talking about next year, on September 18th, I don't want you to overlook that day, sir, because that's going to be a rough day for you. I hope you do well, but I'm
telling
you
man,
right
I hope
now,
you're there. I see that. See, when you know the schedule like me, you don't even need to know. Like, I know that date, like I know what that date is. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I see that flag, it looks good, it looks great. But I know what's going to happen,
I'll be the only one probably on this podcast that will be in attendance, Mr. Rogers. But look, man, there's gonna be a lot of cowbells in there. But I hope you have a nice time. If you need some places to go eat, man, I got you, dog.
Yeah.
Randy, I need you to tell Will, regardless of what happens, this ain't the team that they think it is.
Oh,
I
no,
think
dude.
they
Hold
got
on,
nothing
whoa,
but
whoa.
respect.
Dude, I know,
Hope
dude.
so.
Memphis is. I'm telling you, dude. Memphis is very, very good.
I mean, it's too bad Randy's team isn't on your schedule. That's an easy W right there. He's a Tennessee fan, so
Nah, Will, if I still lived in Memphis, I would definitely be at that game, no doubt about it.
It's gonna be a good game, man. They're really good. They got a really good coach too.
well, hey, Will, I want to play another clip. Daniel did a really good job pulling up some clips, and we've been recapping the whole season, so I want to do another one real quick.
Rodgers in zone, leaping grab, touchdown, Mississippi State, Malik Heath.
In the first quarter, look at this throw. This is a great throw by Will Rogers on these routes. It's called.
Is at home? It was in.
So, man, it's so cool. It's gotta be cool for you, like, to hear these commentators and how fired up they get and excited they get, and the way they describe the way you play. And so, I mean, maybe the bar was set high, and maybe you didn't meet expectations, and the team didn't meet expectations. But to me, Will, man, I see it as, man, somewhat of a success and a building block, because, like you said, you feel like you're at a place where you're underdog, and y'all are going to be an improved team each year. And so I feel like last year was a real good building block. It was a first year coach, and you're only going to get better. And so with that, man, talk to me about the spring. How'd everything look? How'd y'all look? How y'all feeling?
No, yeah, we had a great spring, man. I think like I said, I mean, last year was great. But I mean, we just have to get better off of last year, if that makes sense. We had beaten we beat two top 25 teams the last 2 weeks. When they played us, they were top 25 teams at least. But we beat them the last 2 weeks, and that was huge for us. That was huge for our program. It's huge for our off season. Because this whole off season, all we're thinking about is, all right, we can do that, but hey, we can do a lot more. Let's run the West. That's our mindset and that's our mentality. So
it's gotta be. I mean, you're a winner. Your team's there to compete. If that's not the mindset, don't need to be there.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this, assuming everything stays good, with COVID and the protocol and everything, how excited are you, man, to be in Starkville, daytime, nighttime, but the night games are more electric, obviously been there for both. Man, to just have a full capacity crowd and hear them cowbells ringing, man.
Dude, I'm so excited. I think about it. I think about it every day. I think about just running out of the tunnel for pregame warm-ups, hearing the cowbells. Man, it's going to be awesome. I've never experienced it, but I mean, I can only imagine what it's like. And, I know that, I mean, you can line us up with anybody. When we got our fans behind us, 60,000 plus, cowbells ringing loud, I'll put us up against anybody.
I heard that. So, I mean, I got one last question. I'm going to turn you over to Daniel, and you've already answered it multiple times, but I got to hear you say it. I mean, so is the outlook national championship?
100%.
Absolutely. Wouldn't expect anything less. Go ahead, Daniel.
All right, Will, man. It's been a great story and a great journey. So this season, we're looking forward to big things, man. But before we cut you loose, we're going to play a quick game called This or That. You down?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. So it's real simple. I give you two options. All you have to do is pick one or the other. The only rules are you can't say both and you can't say neither.
All right.
All right. First question. Would you rather never wait in line or when you're driving have all green lights?
Ooh, never wait in line, man.
What's the one line that you would never want to wait in again?
Oh, man. Probably get food or something, man. You know that feeling when you're really hungry and there's a long line to get food and you're just like, dude, this is the worst.
You could see it, you could smell it. You just have to wait.
Yeah, I mean it's terrible, dude. Like awful.
All right, would you rather spend 10 years in a coma or 5 years in jail?
10 years in coma, dude. That's some good sleep. You be feeling good. You
Finally.
be feeling
Finally.
good, man.
Man, I've been telling everybody, give me that 10-year nap since we've been asking
Dude,
this
you
question.
be living to like 150.
What, dude? So the football player says give them the nap. We had all these baseball players say they want jail.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. They can do physical activities after their games, but I feel like I just got in a car crash after a game.
Yeah. So
I need a little rest,
I know that's right. So I don't shoot the messenger now. I was just told to ask this question. Now, who's more athletic? You or Cameron James?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, it's a tough choice. I get it. It's a really tough choice. They just won the national championship. I mean, he looks good running around the bases and all that stuff. But I mean, if you line up all the sports, all right, let's think. He's probably got baseball. I've probably got football. Basketball, me.
Oh, we're gonna have to get a video.
All right,
I'm challenging that.
Hey,
So look,
basketball, me. Anything with a ball besides baseball, ping pong, anything. We could do an Olympics, But hey, no, dude, seriously though, he looks like he could play some damn football for sure. I mean, he's probably one of the only baseball players I've been like, all right, that dude looks like an athlete,
Look, and until Cameron James lines up under center against Alabama, you're gonna win this every day in my book.
Oh, no doubt.
And I like Cameron. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great kid.
Yeah.
Hey, Daniel, we got to stop this with him. He's got to go against multiple people, including his own sister. He's got to hit off her pitching. We keep getting Cam in trouble bringing him into these equations. Now we're going to have him play basketball against Will. I mean, Cam's got a lot on his plate just to provide for us.
We could definitely do that. See who can field. We could do a grounder competition. See who can field the most grounders in a row. Me versus Cam.
Hey, not take a shot at my boy. If you'd done that at the start of the season, you might have had him.
Oh man, Cameron, man. I'm sorry to hear this.
Man, that's rough. That's your boy too.
That's my favorite player. You know what? I'm just messing with him, man. I was in Omaha supporting him. I can get that shot in.
Yeah.
I said he could play basketball. I'm good.
All right, Will. So would you rather be chronically overdressed or chronically underdressed?
Definitely overdressed. You overdressed and you're just like, I mean, you can ask the people like, why are you so dressed up? Why aren't you dressed up? You show up at like a wedding, you're wearing like, I don't know, swim trunks and flip flops. You're gonna be like, it's sitting what it's supposed to look like.
Would you rather lose your sight or lose all your memories?
Gotta be memory, dude. I gotta be able to see, man. I gotta be able to see what I'm doing.
Would you rather be a pirate or a ninja?
Pirate for sure. I'm not into the ninja karate. Plus they call my coach the pirate. I better say that.
That's why I asked. I figured that you'd be on board with that. So would you rather be an unfamous superhero with a superpower you could save people, but maybe not like a cool superpower? Or would you rather be a really famous villain?
Famous villain. Yeah.
I
like that.
Who's your favorite superhero and who's your favorite villain?
Oh, I don't even know, man. Who's a good villain? I don't know. Superhero's gotta be Spider-Man, dude.
That's weak.
No,
not
dude.
weak.
Spider-Man's awesome, dude.
Man, you better watch your mouth, Daniel. My son will beat you up.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of that little fool. Just not him. All right. Last question. This is the question we ask everybody. Would you rather have money or would you rather have friends?
Friends, man. I mean, to be honest, I don't know how much money I'm gonna have. I don't even know what I'm gonna do one day, but I know I have good friends and good family, man, and that's all you can ask for. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you can't take any of that money with you wherever you go. I don't know how many.
You plan on taking your friends with you when you die, bro?
Yeah, I plan on seeing them one day, man.
Oh.
See, I
Hey,
had high-
speaking of friends, Daniel, a friend just chimed in because I made sure to tell Cam his statement, and he said that's a bold statement. Apparently, he doesn't know him like that. Oh, it's game on. We're gonna have to see it.
Hey, tell Cam that we're not talking about baseball here. You can't carry a bat to the basketball court.
I love it.
Tell him, don't let my audibles and these long socks and these wristbands fool you, because I'm a light it up.
Oh, I'm a bucket for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Randy, hit him with some knowledge because he's a friend over money guy.
Nah, man, I respect what you said, Will, and I get it. Like I said, these dudes been my cats since high school, but I'm taking, if somebody offers me the bag and I got to get rid of these cats, hasta la vista, baby. I'm just waiting on Joe Rogan to call me up.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't blame him because he's been honest with us up front. Like he tells us.
I love y'all though. I'm gonna send y'all a little bit of loot just for the trouble.
Yeah, gotta pay them off.
I say friends every time, but as soon as that money gets offered, I'm sure I'll probably go a different way.
Yeah, it's probably a little different when it's in front of your face.
Yep. So, Will, man, anything you want to plug or promote?
No, man. I really appreciate you guys just for having me on. I'm sorry about the little delay at the beginning, but I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's always a great time, and let me know if y'all want to do it again.
Well, we definitely will have you back on for sure. We want to get a recap of this upcoming season, and who knows, depending on how the season goes, we might bring you back midway and get.
Will,
kind of
I gotta ask you a question. If and when y'all beat LSU, will you come back on the next day?
I will.
Just to talk to us
call
about
me
it.
up. It'll be
right.
probably a quick session. Just
all I want to hear about is the 5 touchdowns you threw.
So you're just going to go after LSU. You were going to bring Memphis in the mix. Okay, I appreciate that.
Well, no. I'm not going to do that.
They're both on the hit list.
All right. Since
all the Tigers.
All right, since we're going to do this. All right, Will, make sure you throw it towards Derek Stingley. That's all I'm saying.
I'm about to let. It's a good thing that we've had some Memphis guys on, and the last 2 Memphis guys we've had on have been defensive players. So, man, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on. No, Will, man, we wish you nothing but the best, and we joke and we kid, and but we want you to be successful. We want you to come back, let us know how it's going, but. If there's anything you need from us, any kind of help promoting anything, reach out, man.
Yeah, guys, I really appreciate y'all having me. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all check them out on Instagram at WRogers_2 and check them out on ESPNU at 3:00 on September 4th. Louisiana Tech's coming to Starkville to open it up, man. Guys, we're going to take a break. We're going to plug our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to do some headlines.